It's time for Parenthood in Focus. We're joined as ever by Petrina O'Halloran. Petrina, of course, the founder of Mama's Boobie Box, mum blogger and writer for the online magazine boobingit.com. And you were here not to talk to us about Manchester United, but healthy habits for children. And speaking as someone who got into Manchester United when I was a child, maybe this could be part of it. Just don't start supporting them.
Don't start because your heart will be broken.
Exactly, continually on first. I had a good run of it for 20 odd years. I was mentioned before the break, Petrina, more the food side of things, which will be part of this, but I'm sure there are other healthy habits. Maybe, do you want to start with that? Because I know my own eating habits fell by the wayside for the last week and a half.
And look, Ellen, it's winter. We all had a break from work, sitting around.
We all partied.
No, but it's just like it's nice to lean into that as well. And except it's winter time, it's Christmas. You're going to eat more. You're going to maybe gain a few pounds over Christmas, and that's just what's to happen. It's when to cut it off. Is that knowing when to stop, Ellen?
Yeah. I have to admit, I've done that kind of like, right, I'll eat selection boxes to beat the band. I'll have a few drinks. But when it gets to New Year's Day, I'll knock it on the head. And then, of course, then there's leftover stuff. It's like, well, once I finish that, and then there's birthdays and things coming up. And it's like, once that's out of the way, we'll be into March.
I know, yeah. And it's so hard. And we did a clear out because we didn't realise we've a small pantry. So we didn't realise we'd still had sweets left over from Halloween. So one day when I was gone with my kids, my husband just did a massive clear out and just got rid of everything. He was like, it was absolutely ridiculous, the stuff that was left over. So now we're kind of on an even keel now, getting back in the healthy stuff again and just reminding kids Christmas is over now. So we're getting back to healthy eating habits. And I suppose the way I talk my kids around it, I talk a lot about their teeth and their strength and what helps them build them up. So rather than saying, no, you can't have that sweet, or no, you can't have that, and I was like, well, having them every day isn't great for your teeth. It's not great to build healthy bones. So you're kind of explaining the benefits of why we eat healthily rather than just saying, no, you can't have sweets. Because I do feel they learn that then, and that stays in
if
their
you give them a rationale.
Yeah, if you give them a rationale. Kids are always why, especially small ones.
Do you think children in the modern day have lost the understanding or meaning of the word treat?
Yes, definitely.
What's rare is wonderful. That's what the treat means.
Yeah.
What happens numerous times per day, every day is not a treat.
It's not a treat, yeah. And I remind my kids of that, and then they'd be like, well, Mum, how was that in your day? And I was like, well, my mum did the shopping once a week. She bought a packet of biscuits then, and when that was gone, that was gone. That was our treat. And you had to wait another week until you saw them again. And that's the way it was. So I was trying to remind them of the way things were and the healthy eating we had to do as kids.
Do you worry though that's going to fall on deaf ears? I feel when I start into the back in my day, my kids think I'm going to pull out the old camera and the Pathé newsreel and it's black and white.
Well, they ask, you see. I only
we
bring
were
it
asked,
up because
we were asked was it black and white in the 80s? The 80s.
My kids asked me when did I have electricity? So
we first got electricity into our outhouse when I was 10.
Yeah, so there is a bit of that as well. But when they ask and they say, well, what kind of treats did you eat when you were younger? I do explain it because I want them to know you can't be eating treats every day. And then I use it to remind them as well. I was like, look, other kids aren't as fortunate as you, so they don't have treats every day. So I was like, it's not very fair. So I was like, there's only enough treats to go around. So we're just winding it back a little bit. And we kind of started last night cold turkey because we got the kids bed to early as well, which is really hard. So if your kids are up till 9 or 10 o'clock at night and now they're back to school today, if they had a late night last night, expect spares now in the afternoon, and they'll probably, if they have been eating chocolate every day and there's no chocolate today, they'll probably go through a bit of a withdrawal from chocolate as well.
And can I ask you about that, getting them back to going to bed at a normal time? Because I know I think you've given us advice on this before. Maybe it's coming off the end of the summer into a new school year, the kind of doing it incrementally. Did you do that over the past number of days?
No, because we didn't have time. So it kind of went by the wayside. And then my youngest, she occasionally has naps, but then she'd naps on one of the days. And I was like, well, that's out the window, getting her to bed early now, because there's not a hope she's going to go to sleep. So we did do a bit of the cold turkey approach last night, and I just said, 6:30 bath, reading stories by 7, into bed by 7:30. Now my older girl did stay up a little bit, but we were like, look, if you want to read a book in bed, that's fine, but you're not coming out of bed. And she was like, okay, grand. And the other lady did sleep eventually. I think she was asleep by 8, whereas normally it would have been 9, half 9. So
that's pretty good.
That was fairly good, but she was tired, and I suppose we did enough activities with them yesterday to get them tired as well, if you know what I mean. We weren't just sitting around the couch all day, so they had been out and about, they've been doing stuff around the house, and they were active. So I mean, active kids
brought the batteries levels down a bit.
Yes. Active kids make them tired as well, so that's another good way. Bringing in exercise to it as well, and regular exercise in the new year. So if that hasn't been a daily habit, maybe think about it. And simple things, I know it's like the weather's really bad now, but things like if you've any even footpath around your area, like a little walk, 10-minute walk around your house, around the footpath, go out and kick a ball in the evening if you've lights on outside. There are simple things that you can do inside as well, small ball sports inside. Even when I do weights at home, my little girl picks up a little plate of weights and she just be doing them away, or she does squats because she's watching me doing them, and I'll just show her how to do a squat. And it's all exercise, so it's just building in these small daily habits, every day. And even this morning while I was defrosting the car, the two of them ran outside for 20 minutes and just had great fun because there was frost everywhere. So it's just little simple things. You don't have to go mad on it and try and be out on bikes or out running the roads or whatever else. Just find little pockets of time where your kids can be active, and don't try and break yourself trying to get them into activities if you don't want them going to activities every evening. But find pockets of time where they can be active.
And you'd want it, especially with bikes, you want to be careful at the moment.
Yes.
Even obviously it's not as icy, anywhere near as icy as it was this morning, but still just proceed with caution.
Yeah, exactly. There's loads of other activities you can do besides that. And then you might want to take up some other nice bedtime habits, Alan, to get them into a bedtime routine, like reading more. So my oldest girl now, because she's learning to read more in school, I'm getting her to read by herself at night time. So I was like, I'll sit down with her, she'll read the book to me, and then that's getting into a good habit of reading and helping her reading at school. So that's a great habit to get into, as well as just getting those nighttime stories in and practice reading at night time. Reduce the screen time, Alan. I was away for like a day or two over Christmas with the kids, and literally in the hotel in the morning when everyone was having breakfast, I'd say there was 10 families together, and about 7 of those had screens out for the kids. Now I'm talking very small kids now, Alan, under 3, and they were there watching cartoons or whatever they were watching, and it was 8 a.m. and they were eating. And I just think a screen while you're eating means you're not focusing on the food, you're not digesting the food properly, you're not tasting it properly, you don't really know what you're eating, but also you're not taking in your surrounds or what's going on.
And meal time is
focused.
family time. Family time.
Yeah. And like, I'm not being a martyr now saying, I know it's hard when you have a couple of kids who are small and it's hard to get everyone sitting down together, but you could see the differences in the kids who weren't having the phones and the ones that had, because the ones that weren't, they were going up looking at the buffet, they were helping themselves to juices, they were figuring out, they were talking to people, they were taking everything in.
They were engaging with the real world.
Yes, the real world.
Heard the likes of it.
So I really would encourage parents, if you can at all, try and put the phones away, because Dr. David Coleman came out yesterday with an article in the Independent basically saying no phones at all, just like it's not good for small children whatsoever. So we'll just try and be mindful of that. I realise it's hard, like it is a battle getting kids to sit down if you're out and sitting down with them. But, hard work now, easy life later, So just try and focus on that, because kids aren't present then. Especially while they're eating. I think it's so important that they know what they're eating. They're getting new foods into them. They're learning about different foods, especially if they're away from home and they're eating stuff they haven't eaten before. And they're not going to know any of that if they're sitting there staring at a phone.
That is so true. Anything else before we finish, Petrina?
I would say as well for the parents, think about putting the phones away. So if you are around the kids, monkey see, monkey do, Ellen. Yep. So if you're there on your phone, your kids, I notice with my youngest now, she's becoming more aware of phones, and she's 4, so she's kind of realising now people have phones and she wants one. And even at my older girl's school play, she wants to be taking pictures, and I was like, no, like mommy's phone is in her bag and that's where it's staying. So like, it's monkey see, monkey do. So try and put your phones away in the presence of your kids when you're spending time with your family. You don't need to be on your phone. If you need to do stuff, wait until they're gone to bed and then do it.
So true. And that's why I love doing this show. It's 3 hours where I don't have have an opportunity to look at my phone. Yes. We all need less screen time. Petrina, thank you very much.
Thanks, Alan,
and
so much.
Happy New Year to you, and thanks very much for being with us. And we will chat to you again throughout 2026.